Okay, James O'Sullivan, thanks for joining us. It's good to see you back, mate, playing some snooker.
Yeah, I'm just back enjoying it really. Just going in the local pro-ams and stuff. And as I said to you earlier, I'm on the seniors tour, so I'm enjoying that as well. And I've had a few results on that, beating some good players. I got to the final in Newbury, the top 32 playoff. Lost to Leo in the final, but I beat some good players on it. Nick Judge, Rodney Goggins. So yeah, I'm just back enjoying my snooker.
No, I noticed those results. I'm very pleased to see it. And I saw when you were down here last month.
Yeah.
I think you lost to young Alex Crenshaw. Was it 4-3?
4-3. Yeah, he's a good player. He is. Yeah. Very good.
No, you played very well there, mate. You dug in, and there seemed to be a bit of the old James in there.
Yeah, it's coming back a little bit. As I said to you last time, I'm practicing. My brother's just putting a lovely new star table in his house, so I've been practicing there. But it's hard to adapt now because I'm playing on such a good table. I'm sort of coming to these other tables. Not that they're lovely tables here, but it's hard to adapt from such good conditions, But I've been practicing with some good players. Wayne Townsend pops over, Lee Richardson pops over. So I'm trying to get some good match practice, and as I said, I'm enjoying it again,
Yeah, good lads to practice with.
Yeah.
How long's it been when you were on the tour there, James? Just give us a little resume.
So I played on the tour in 94, 95, 96, I think. And then it went. The first 2 years was at Blackpool, and then the following year it went to the clubs in Aldershot. So I probably didn't give it long enough, to be honest with you. I should have probably given it another 2 or 3 seasons, but it was hard then, as you know. There was sort of 800 professionals then, and they're all sort of beating each other.
And those, we touched on Blackpool there. That was the Norbrack Castle qualifiers, wasn't it? I mean, I've heard horror stories from that place. I mean, was it that? I mean, just remind me. I mean, I never spent a lot of time there, to be honest with you. But there was a lot of matches played, wasn't there?
Well, there was. You were up there for sort of basically 2 to 3 months at a time.
Right. Instead of 2 to 3 weeks like Q School.
As Q School. So I think Q School's a little bit easier now, and there's not as many players either. As I said, when I went back, there was so many pros, and everyone was just beating everybody,
Right.
And then you had to wait then till one event was over, and then you started the next event. So it was quite difficult, but as I said, the cream always comes to the top. So
yeah, they did. They certainly did then, because I think there's several hundred players. I mean, there was something like 400 registered professional snooker players who played their socks off and tried to get through Blackpool to get to the.
Lots of very, very good players who never made it. Very, very good players.
So. Some of them are actually here today. Paul Dawson was here. You were obviously there.
He's a friend of mine, Paul. We used to play down the professional club with Nick Pearce and Kieran McMahon.
Yes,
you probably remember Kieran
McMahon. Rings a bell.
He was a good friend of mine from Northern Ireland. There was lots of good players. Danny Smith was another good friend of mine from a professional club. So there was lots of players to practice back then. You had. So the trouble is now, as you know, the amateur game is. It's hard to get the runners, It's hard to.
Yeah, there's a lot of competition. There's a big calendar, and that's the other thing I wanted to get your views on, actually.
Yeah.
The amateur game. I mean, I personally think it's a little bit of a mess.
Yeah.
As busy as it is, and I think it could be argued that there's probably too many professional snooker players on the tour.
Yeah.
Because there's quite huge divisions and standards between the players, and. You often see young players getting on the tour and then struggling really a lot. I mean,
they have their 2 years on the tour and they tend to drop off again, don't they?
Yeah, so I think that's a problem that needs fixing, and I think the only way to fix that problem is to change things completely. And I think instead of Q School, like Q School is a good tester. It's probably the best avenue at the moment for a player, because it not only tests his ability, but it's proven. The top players, quite often the pros that drop off the tour get back on again.
They do.
Through Q School, and that is also a very, very good indicator.
Well, I think there's only 2 events in Q School, is there?
I think there's 3.
Is there 3? Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. You could have two very tough draws, or you could have 3 very tough draws.
Well, what about this? We'll have the Challenge Tour, which is sort of along the lines where I was thinking a couple of years. I was thinking maybe, have a World Amateur Tour.
Yeah.
Where you have a fast turnover of players going up and down. Let's say, for argument's sake, 16 to 22, 24 players.
Right.
So perhaps maybe the idea I had was to scrap Q School, scrap Challenge Tour, remove the main tour events from EPSB or EASB as it was known before they took over, and have a main amateur tour where you can have as many entries as you want in a weekend of snooker, and the top 16 players at the end of each season will go on the tour, and 16 will come off. Obviously, with the 2-year thing, 2-year card in the consideration. But I think that would be possibly a better way, and a fast turnover of players as well on the tour wouldn't help either. Yeah. Any views on that?
Well, I just think it's I as I said, I've never been to Q School. I've not seen the thing. The last time I was as I said, was Blackpool, but probably looking back now, Q School would have probably been better when I was playing, because you would have had it all done and dusted in 2 or 3 weeks as opposed to 3 months coming backwards and forwards. So it's but one thing is struggling is the amateur game. When I was younger, I was playing. You were going to pro-ams and there was 128 players in professional tournament, pro-am tournament. And as you know now, it's hard to get the numbers, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, I like 16-player formats. I mean, it's quite relaxed today with the players that we have in the club. But it is a struggle getting the players. Players have got so much to choose from. Yeah. As we speak, there's a main amateur tour, EPSB tour event in Leeds, which has taken maybe about half a dozen of the lads from the south up there. Yeah. But it's the choices are there. I mean, the players can opt for different regions, and that's the whole idea of regional qualifiers with the amateur game too. But there's a lot to choose from. But I think something needs to be done with the amateur game. I think
these are great events that you're running, as you said. They're brilliant. They're absolutely fantastic. Because
they work well. They're bringing players. It's a nice mix of ex-professional, seniors, and young players. We don't see so many young players coming through these days.
No, that's the trouble. Yeah.
I think it's an era of video games and
that's
fantasy.
The trouble, because in our local league, in the Harrow League, it's still the older players who are still winning the singles tournaments, the doubles tournaments, so there's no sort of younger players coming through, you know.
That's right. No, I grew up in the days of working men's clubs and snooker tables. Back in those days, ladies were not allowed into those clubs. Of course, it's an open game now, and hopefully very soon we're gonna see some lady professionals. I hope so, because I don't see no reason why not.
Well, Rihanna's leading the way there, isn't she?
Yeah, no, there are some great ladies out there coming into the game, and hopefully we'll see. It's very tough, and I think, just touching on Q School again, I think that is probably the only avenue through at the minute for young players in a troubled amateur game. But that's what I think they should aim for. Yeah. Rather than looking at long shots through European events and 1 year tour cards, or travelling all over the place, spending thousands and thousands of pounds, I think is a wee bit unproductive. So anyway, you're going to be playing on the seniors, some of the seniors tours like myself next year, and
well, I'm playing on them this year, so I only go in the local ones, as I said to you earlier. There's one coming up in Liverpool, but it's a bit of a distance, so I've been travelling in the local ones, but I've been doing quite well, and I'm up to 23 in the rankings on the seniors one. So for the amount that I go in, it's quite an achievement in itself. So but hopefully next year I'm going to try and do. There's one in Bruges, I believe, next year. So I'm hoping to do that one. My brother's going to come with me, and he plays a little bit as well. He's a good player, so it's a bit of company while you're on the tour as well.
Absolutely. So today, are you going to win this event today?
Well, I'm going to try my hardest. Yeah. So hopefully, yeah.
We'll find out soon. James, thanks very much.
Thanks, Dave.
Cheers, mate. Okay.
Cheers.